Are eggs a good food choice for weight loss? That's what we're going to dig into in this video. Hey, what's up? My name is Schuyler. I'm a lifestyle fat loss coach and the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness. Our goal is to help you lose weight sustainably, and so to do it without strict dieting, without counting calories, weighing out your food, and without HIIT workouts or boring cardio. And today we are diving into the topic of eggs. Now, before we get into it, make sure if you are not subscribed to the channel that you hit that subscribe button. I'm putting out new videos every single week geared to help you get in the best shape of your life. So, are eggs a good choice for weight loss? The answer is it depends. Unfortunately, we live in a society where all types of food are not created equal. And so depending on the type of egg, depending on how you use this egg, you're most likely going to see different benefits or different responses from the body. So I want to go over a couple different types of eggs today. Overall, we've got 4 different types that you should see in the store with 4 subcategories under those. We've got conventional eggs, we've got organic eggs, we've got cage-free eggs, we've got organic cage-free eggs, we've got free-range eggs, organic free-range eggs, pasture-raised eggs, and organic pasture-raised eggs. So what the heck is the difference? Let's start with conventional. So conventional eggs, typically you're going to find that these chickens are in some pretty poor living conditions. They are usually caged up, they usually don't have much of an opportunity to move, and they are fed synthetic feed. So they're fed feed like corn and soy and other things that are heavily processed, that have pesticides, and that are impacting the nutritional quality of the chicken and the egg. Subsection under that is organic conventional egg, which would be the same exact living conditions, except instead of being fed conventional fed, they're fed organic feed. Organic corn, organic soy, which means that they're probably not being fed things that are synthetic, and the feed that they're having is going to have a lower pesticide amount. Next, we have cage-free eggs. Now, the living conditions of the chickens that make these eggs, they're not in cages. However, odds are is they are extremely packed in a warehouse, very, very close, uninhabitable living quarters. They do not have the opportunity to go outside, and they are being fed the same thing as conventional eggs. So synthetic food, corn, soy, high pesticides, processed food. Organic cage-free would be the same exact living conditions, except their feed is organic. So no pesticides, and it's real food. Next, we have free-range eggs. Now, free-range eggs are typically outside of cages. They're in a very similar living situation where they're typically packed in a very large warehouse. The only difference between these and cage-free is that guidelines state there has to be a small opening at some point in the warehouse so that the chickens do have access to the outdoors. Now, the problem here is that if this is a massive warehouse and you have one small little hole on one side that's only open for a couple hours a day, most chickens that are on the other side of that warehouse aren't going to be able to get outside. So it's going to be very similar living conditions to cage-free eggs. And then same thing applies for the feed, is that they're going to be fed conventional crops. So potentially things that aren't considered food and processed GMO, pesticide sprayed corn and soy. And then organic free range would be the same exact thing, except they're being fed organic feed, so real food. And then finally, you have pasture-raised eggs. Now, pasture-raised eggs are when the chickens are, for the majority of their life, outside on a pasture. And typically what occurs when they're living outside is they're eating more of their natural diet. They're eating seeds, they're eating bugs. And so what you're gonna find is that the chickens that are pasture-raised are typically going to have a more nutrient-dense quality to their egg yolks. Now, keep in mind here, it's the majority of their life. So they're probably still being fed some conventional corn, soy, other things that aren't their typical normal diet. And if it is conventional, there's a chance that there's GMO feed, that there's pesticides on this feed. And so if it's organic pasture raised, then you are getting these chickens same exact living conditions, raised outside for the majority of their life. And if they do have any extra feed, it is organic. So it's non-GMO, there's minimal pesticides, and it's a real food. So what matters when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to the nutrition content of the eggs? We got 2 things. Number 1, how the chickens feel. This is a big deal, and it's something that not enough people are talking about, is that if a chicken lives a very stressed out life, it's in a very stressed out state, especially when it's producing these eggs, the nutrient quality of the egg is going to be impacted. And then the second part is, of course, what the chickens are being fed. If they're being fed their natural diet, they're going to have a much different nutrient profile than if they're being fed a lot of processed ingredients or corn and soy, which typically aren't their natural diet. So, a couple things to note here. Number 1, if you are going for the best of the best, organic pasture raised is the way to go. If you can go to local farms where you see and know that the chickens are out and about and they're on the pasture, they don't necessarily need to be organic. Truth is, typically I don't buy organic for pasture raised because it's usually $1 difference for a dozen. And I believe if a chicken is outdoors for the majority of its life, it's getting mostly its normal diet. I'm not concerned if the eggs are organic or not. As far as how this impacts the quality of the eggs, so there's a study done that showed that providing pasture to hens yields egg yolks with a lower omega-6 to omega-3 ratio and significantly greater vitamin A, vitamin E, and carotenoid content compared to egg yolks from caged hens. So why is this important? More vitamins, more minerals in the body means you're typically going to respond in a more positive way. You're going to have more energy, your appetite's not going to be as high. But then as far as the fat content goes, we have omega-3 fats, which are anti-inflammatory. We have omega-6 fats, which are inflammatory. Both are important in doses. We need inflammation to be able to heal from wounds, heal from diseases, to be able to repair the body. But if we have too much of it or persistent and consistent, it can create things like diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and other things as well. And so we live in a society where our omega-6 ratio, which is inflammatory, is way, way, way higher naturally than our omega-3 ratio. And so if you're combining this processed food and other meats and other things that have higher omega-6, and then you're also consuming these eggs that have higher omega-6, not only are you setting yourself up for a higher chance of disease, but you're also going to reduce your metabolism. You're also going to impact how your body responds to food and how it responds to your weight loss efforts. So if you're having 2 eggs a day and it's not a big part of your diet, is this really a big deal? I like to err on better safe than sorry. I'd rather buy higher quality eggs, but my gut says no. If you're just having conventional eggs, it's probably not going to be a massive deal. But if you are committed to transforming your health and you're looking for very, very simple shifts that are going to make a difference, and let's say you have more than 2 eggs a day, this could be a very, very important swap. And if you're not eating eggs right now, or you're having very minimal, it might be a good idea to increase them, because along with the vitamins I mentioned previously, you're also going to have levels of choline involved as well, which is a super essential nutrient that you can't get in many other places. Now, this is where the concern typically comes up. Well, if I'm eating a lot of eggs, doesn't that increase my chance of raising my cholesterol? I did a video on this a while back. Cholesterol is not necessarily linked to the things that we're looking to avoid, like heart disease. There's definitely a relationship there, but it might not be what you think. So check out that video as well. But what I would suggest is include eggs at least 3 to 4 times a week in your diet. Make sure you have the whole egg, because the yolk is where the actual nutrients are. The egg white is great for protein, but you're really looking to get the nutrients here in the yolk as well. I start with a minimum of 3. I make protein pancakes multiple times a week that are 3 or 4 eggs and taste delicious. So if you're looking for that recipe, leave a comment below. But overall, be smart here. My philosophy is the closest to animals' natural diet and the closest that crops are being produced and raised to their natural form, the healthier it's going to be for you, the easier it's going to be to stay in shape. I really do believe there's a correlation between why 50 years ago there were barely any people that were overweight to walking around in our society now and seeing the big difference is in the difference in our food production. So that's what I got for you today. If you are looking for help losing fat, you are overwhelmed by all the information out there, or you just really struggle staying consistent and being held accountable, check out the free training in the description of this video. We got a free training there for you that will lay out exactly what we do and how we can help you get the best results. But besides that, thank you so much for watching. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.